So we'll go through the genie superpower list. So genies are made from fire. They are invisible. They can shapeshift, so they can become snakes, dogs, some other animals, or even insects at times. They can teleport. They can literally like go from one place into instantaneously. This happened with the Queen of Sheba and her throne. Then they can fly in space because remember they do fly in space to the seventh heaven to snatch the inspiration from Allah, and then the stars chase them. So yeah, they fly in space. They can possess humans. We will see videos of that, Ruqya services and whatnot. Big shout out to Hassan Ruqya services. Uh, Jinns are actually construction experts, and they can make the most imaginative buildings and structures. Solomon had them do them for him. Again, they're war veterans from Solomon's army as well. They live long AF, which there are reports of jinns that live thousands of years. Okay.
Even that's a question asked to Islamic scholars: do jinns die? And they have to answer it because it's not indicated anywhere in the Quran and Sunnah how long jinns live.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know where I read, but there was this one narration or one scholarly opinion that one of the jinns from the time of Solomon, the big jinn, is still alive. So I'm like, okay. In regards to peeing in ears, this is referring to the Satan peeing in your ears, sleeping in your nose when you don't wake up at Fajr. Flee with farts. This happens when the azan is said, and then Shaitan suddenly passes wind and flies away, so he doesn't hear the adhan. This is quite a ironic hadith. But one thing else thing is like these superpower genies, you'd expect they'd be doing these amazing, wondrous, miraculous works, but all they seem to do is just pester us little pesky humans. But what's interesting is their diet. They eat dung, animal droppings, leftover from bones, and food that you don't say Bismillah on. This just gives you an idea that this is literally, I kid you not, this is a comedy book. Yes, you can make a comic out of this.
It's a comedy book today, but back then it wasn't. Okay, so we've already discussed. Oh yeah, go ahead. You can explain this.
Yeah, so we talked about if you say azan, then the genies will pass a wind and run away, which Satan does. Uh, the dua for going in the washroom, actually, there's a hadith that says that one of the only things that shelters the genies from seeing the nakedness of the son of Adam is this dua of saying Bismillah. And there's this actual dua in Arabic that I still remember somehow from like, what, 10 years ago. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-khubusi wal khaba'is.
Allahumma janabish shaitan wa janabish shaitan ma razaqtana.
Yeah, like protect us from like the satans and the bad satans in the thing, and make dua before having sex.
Yeah, that's the one I still remember. Allahumma janabish shaitan. I must have used that one a lot.
Because they say if you don't, then like the Satan will influence the child and he'll come out some with defect or some as disobedient or something. This one's funny. Kill snakes. Actually, like we said, they're shapeshifters. Genies can become snakes, and then you will actually have to tell what if it's a true genie or a true snake. You have to yell at the snake, "Are you a genie?" and give him 3 warnings. If he doesn't reply, you kill him. If that's an evil sin. Reading Quran, Surah Nas, Surah Falaq. So black magic and jinns, they literally directly mention the jinns whispering bad thoughts into humans. And apart from that, there's also Surah Ayat al-Kursi that you're supposed to recite when you have these issues, or just generally Surah Baqarah. I remember, now this is what's interesting. When I was younger, back in my Salafi days, right, and I still had this one aunt that the whole family says she's into the genie black magic stuff. And there was a rumor about her doing it on us, and it kind of like made us paranoid. So I actually played Surah Baqarah every night on loudspeaker, like for a whole 40 days to get the genie out of the house.
I had a friend, a psychiatrist friend, who actually told me that. I mean, I helped him with this project to give out Surah, but he gave me like $1,000 or something. We bought this CD duplicated machine and everything, and he was giving out Surah Baqarah for people to play in the houses to protect them from jinns on the CD player.
Gosh, and the Lancy is good too. Then I think the spit 3 times is the one regarding the bad omen in the dream.
Yeah.
Okay, on the left side when you wake up. Before we go forward, I
Yep.
just wanted to say one thing, that a lot of people will try to say that jinns or genies are metaphors and they're not actually beings, and Allah is using them as some weird storytelling method. But the problem is that the genies are actually tied in with literal historic events that are tied in with Quranic revelations, and they're recorded extensively in Sira books. So no, they are definitely not just metaphorical beings. In fact, you will see extensively throughout the Quran and literature affirms them as being actual beings that worship Allah and that can affect us and the environment around them. So what we'll go first is what are jinns made up of? So we see in Surah Hijr, verse 27, and Surah Rahman, Allah says that we created, and the jinn we created before from scorching fire. And then he says, and he created the jinn from a smokeless flame of fire. So you see here that Allah created jinns from fire, but it's smokeless. That's one thing we see. And this ties in back to the incident of Iblis, where when Allah asked him to prostrate to Adam, Iblis used his creation from fire as an objection, saying that he's created from something more fierce like fire, whereas Adam is only made from clay, and hence the whole saga continued. I just wanted to point that out.